Hi guys, so today is February 2nd, 2012 and this is a review video of Yamaha MM6 synthesizer. Before you see this video, please be sure that you watch the official Yamaha Corporation MM6 presentation video by Bert Smorenburg. It shows pretty well what this machine is and what it can do. I will not try to repeat with Bert, so please first see his video. I will post a link just in the description of this video, so you can see his video first. And it's pretty good video, by the way. So the purpose of this video is not to repeat what Bert will tell you. The purpose of this video is to tell you a little bit more information on Yamaha MM6. First, few words about MM6 in general. Yamaha MM6 is a 61 key keyboard, mid-range class and designed for entry-level players, but it contains pretty advanced functions. It was officially released in 2007 and it was released in two versions. What you're looking at is the Yamaha MM6, but also MM8 was released as additional version of this synthesizer. The only difference, according to the official sources, is that MM6 is a portable 61 key full-size keyboard with, as you can see, the traditional plastic look and feel for a synthesizer keyboard, while MM8 is absolutely the same keyboard with the same capabilities, but with 88 keys semi-weighted keyboard. So if you are a traditional piano player, you would more consider to buy the MM8. Before we continue, it's very important to mention why I purchased this keyboard. I have this synthesizer already 1 year and something, and it is my first synthesizer ever, and I had no expectations. I had no ideas what to expect from a machine like this. So my reason when I decided to purchase a synthesizer was first the sounds that it contains and can reproduce, to be somewhat balanced between traditional instruments and electronic instruments. And speaking of which, this instrument is pretty well combining these features, because it does contain nice traditional instruments, nice piano, and also pretty cool trancey sounds and some other sounds that can be combined into a light electronic music. I say light because this synthesizer is known for the category of well-behaving synthesizers, and it doesn't contain any aggressive sounds, or at least not very aggressive. So if you're looking to do hard techno or whatever other hard electronic music, you would consider another keyboard, but more on this later. So as I said, my reasons were a synthesizer that combines the best from the both worlds, or at least a good combination of traditional and electronic sounds. And I used to watch a lot of videos before I buy this keyboard. I used to test it live in Long and McQuaid downtown Toronto store, and this is how I decided to buy this one. Also, I will tell you more about why I decided to buy this keyboard over Korg X50, but more on this later. Now continuing with more general information on Yamaha MM6. So as I said, this is a 61 full-size keyboard instrument with the traditional synthesizer plastic look and feel of the keyboard, which is that it's not like a piano keyboard, it's not hammered keys, which is fine for me. I'm not a piano player, And as you can see, it's full of controls, some of which are really cool and useful for a live performance. More on this later. And it does have a pretty big screen for a synthesizer of such a class. By the way, don't pay attention to my stickies. I used to have stickies over the keyboard with some notes that I put for my songs. Now some words on the connectivity. For me, connectivity is one of the main and most important parts of a synthesizer and electronic musical instrument. So when I'm looking for information on a musical instrument, one of the first things that I look for is a picture of the back panel and what we do have here. So first, this is the power button, power supply in. We have headphones in, the main outputs, left and right channel, foot controller input and sustained pedal input. Then, as you can see, we have two MIDI ports, input and output, then USB port and a small USB port. The big USB port is standard USB port as you would see on most computers and modern laptops, and it can be used to attach a device like this one, which is standard memory stick. So you can use it to save your musical performances. More on this later. This mini USB is used to connect a cable like this one to a computer, but more on this later. Actually, very in few words, I will just mention that on the USB stick you can save your performance in the form of MIDI files. I'm talking about standard MIDI files, and you can use also additional MIDI files created by the different users that you can play on the Yamaha MM6. The small MIDI port, as I said, is used with a MIDI cable to connect the computer, and the sad part is that this is a MIDI only port, which is fine for me. So as you probably know, the modern synthesizers have built-in audio interfaces, so the MIDI port serves not only as a MIDI port but also as an audio interface port, and you can connect directly your synthesizer with your computer. But in our situation, MM6, the USB port can be used only to transfer MIDI information and to use your Yamaha MM6 as a MIDI keyboard. Now some words on the Yamaha MM6 controls. Very generally speaking, this machine have a few blocks with controls. So of course, first is the keyboard itself, then we have wheels, then we have knobs, left panel with different kind of buttons, a screen, jog wheel, and right side with different other buttons, and one small knob here which is for the controlling the LCD contrast, so you can control the contrast of your screen. Now more on the controls. So the wheels are pretty self-explanatory. We have the pitch bend wheel and the modulation wheel, which is like a standard for the synthesizers. We have the main volume control. Here we have four knobs, which are basically 2 and 2. So the first two control the filter in real time. We have the cutoff and the resonance control. The second two control the envelope generator. So we have the attack and release real-time controls, and they affect every sound of the MM6. But important to mention is that in split keyboard mode they control only the right side of the keyboard. By the way, as you can see on the keyboard, we have like a block diagram which is showing which keys and controls to which function group belong. So I already said about the knobs. So here we have tempo controls, we have the metronome, the tap tempo, and keys for increasing and decreasing the tempo by 1. Here we have song and pattern controls. When I say pattern, if you are familiar with the arranger keyboards, here pattern is de facto the style. So by choosing a pattern, you are choosing a style from your keyboard. Of course, like the other Yamaha keyboards, this one comes with pretty much styles that you can choose from. Some of which are really cool, most of which I will never use, but this is a matter of personal choice. Depends how you see your artistic vision. Anyway, so one button for choosing a song, one button for choosing a pattern or style, as you may think of. We have the preset songs. We have 3 songs built in here, which are for demo of the synthesizer. Then we have user songs and songs which are de facto MIDI files saved on the USB stick. Then here we have finger and auto fill in. So finger, when pressed, is very cool function. When you press one key, it plays one entire chord for you, with another key, another chord. So the auto fill in is pretty obvious when you have some style or pattern, whatever you want to call it, playing. With auto fill in enabled, you have the instrument doing the filling automatically for you when you change the patterns. So speaking of which, for every style you have 4 different variations which are 4 different patterns, and this is where the auto fill in comes handy. So when you have pattern A playing and you switch to pattern B, if you have this enabled, Yamaha will and the MM6 will automatically create the drum fill for you. If you have it disabled, it will directly switch to the second variation, and so on. Here we have playback controls. First, record, sync start. Sync start when you have it enabled, and when you press a key on the keyboard, it will automatically start playing the accompaniment or the style or the pattern with you, and of course the play and the stop button. Here 4 different knobs. One is menu, so you can choose different menu functions like settings, etc. Execute have various functions, I will not discuss it here. And edit is for editing the current style, but these are limited options. And utility is another another button that involves subfunctions, but more on this later. So here we have the jog wheel, which is used to select and navigate in different menus and submenus. Speaking of which, the menus of Yamaha MM6 are pretty simple, and you can learn pretty fast to operate with the instrument. So here, increment and decrement button. So instead of turning this jog wheel, you can simply use these two buttons to navigate into the menus. Exit serves for an exit button when you are in a menu. I already said what is this for. So category, when you are choosing a sound from your keyboard, the sounds in Yamaha MM6 are organized into categories, so you can change the category from here, or you have dedicated buttons for every category, as you can see, so you can change the category also from here. So another important function, this is the arpeggiator, and by the way, you have choice of different arpeggiators. When you press the button for several seconds, a pop-up menu will appear and you can choose with the jog wheel different kind of arpeggiators, but on the Yamaha MM6 official video they show you this, so I will not discuss it too much. Here, very cool feature, transpose buttons. So when you have a song playing, you can transpose it real time. Doesn't matter if this is a built-in song or a song that you're playing from your memory stick. You can transpose in real time, which is pretty cool. So this transposes by one semitone, and this transposes by one octave. By the way, when you transpose, it transposes by one semitone up to one octave. I haven't tried if these two work for a song too, but at least when you are playing and pressing this transposes your keyboard one octave by one octave. So here the traditional buttons, split keyboard and dual. So dual is for layering. You can have up to two instruments layered on one key, and the dual splits the keyboard into two. So you can have one hand playing the bass part, for example, and another hand playing the main part. The default split point is right here, so this key would be the bass and all keys on the left, and this key would be main part and on the right. But this is not this is a feature that you can edit. When you go into the menus of Yamaha MM6, you can edit exactly where the split point would be. Then we have performance bank. So this is related to these buttons here. Basically, you have performance memory here, and this is very much useful, but I will discuss it later. So let's check the other buttons. Track, select, mute, and store. This is also related to this button. So basically what I'm talking about is that you can record up to 5 songs on the onboard memory of Yamaha MM6. They can be split into channels, and in that mode these buttons become channel controls, like you can enable or disable a channel from playing, and that way you can help yourself in your performance. On the other hand, these buttons can be used as performance memory buttons. I will tell you more about this later, because it is a little bit more broad subject. And finally we have the category buttons that I already told you about. So these are the controls of Yamaha MM6. And now let's switch it on and see how it looks and it sounds.